As Saul turned to leave Samuel, God changed Saul's heart, and all these signs were fulfilled that day. When he and his servant arrived at Gibeah, a procession of prophets met him. The Spirit of God came powerfully upon him, and he joined in their prophesying. When all those who had formerly known him saw him prophesying with the prophets, they asked each other,
"What is this that's happening to the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets?"
A man who lived there answered, "And who is the father?" So it became a saying,
"Is Saul also among the prophets?"
After Saul stopped prophesying, he went to the high place. Now Saul's uncle asked him and his servant,
"Where have you been?"
"Looking for the donkeys," he said. "But when we saw they were not to be found, we went to Samuel." Saul's uncle said,
"Tell me what Samuel said to you."
Saul replied, "He assured us that the donkeys had been found," but he did not tell his uncle what Samuel had said about the kingship. Samuel summoned the people of Israel to the Lord at Mizpah and said to them,
"This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I brought Israel up out of Egypt, and I delivered you from the power of Egypt and all the kingdoms that oppressed you. But you have now rejected your God who saves you out of all your disasters and calamities, and you have said, 'No, appoint a king over us.' So now present yourselves before the Lord by your tribes and clans."
When Samuel had all Israel come forward by tribes, the tribe of Benjamin was taken by lot. Then he brought forward the tribe of Benjamin, clan by clan, and Matri's clan was taken. Finally Saul, son of Kish, was taken, but when they looked for him, he was not to be found. So they inquired further of the Lord, "Has the man come here yet?" And the Lord said, "Yes, he has hidden himself among the supplies." They ran out and brought him out, and as he stood among the people, he was a head taller than any of the others. Samuel said to all the people,
"Do you see the man the Lord has chosen? There's no one like him among all the people."
Then the people shouted,
"Long live the king!"
Samuel explained to the people the rights and duties of kingship. He wrote them down on a scroll and deposited it before the Lord. Then Samuel dismissed the people to go to their own homes. Saul also went to his home in Gibeah, accompanied by valiant men whose hearts God had touched. But some scoundrels said,
"How can this fellow save us?"
They despised him and brought him no gifts. But Saul kept silent. Saul rescues the city of Jabesh. Nahash the Ammonite went up and besieged Jabesh Gilead. And all the men of Jabesh said to him,
"Make a treaty with us, and we will be subject to you."
But Nahash the Ammonite replied,
"I will make a treaty with you only on the condition that I gouge out the right eye of every one of you, and so bring disgrace on all Israel."
The elders of Jabesh said to him,
"Give us 7 days so we can send messengers throughout Israel. If no one comes to rescue us, we will surrender to you."
When the messengers came to Gibeah of Saul and reported these terms to the people, they all wept aloud. Just when Saul was returning from the fields, behind his oxen, and he asked, "What is going on with everyone? Why are they weeping?" Then they repeated to him what the men of Jabesh had said. When Saul heard their words, the Spirit of God came powerfully upon him, and he burned with anger. He took a pair of oxen, cut them into pieces, and sent the pieces by messengers throughout Israel, proclaiming, "This is what will be done to the oxen of anyone who does not follow Saul and Samuel." Then the terror of the Lord fell on the people, and they came out together as one. When Saul mustered them at Bezek, the men of Israel numbered 300,000, and those of Judah 30,000. They told the messengers who had come, "Say to the men of Jabesh Gilead, by the time the sun is hot tomorrow, you will be rescued." When the messengers went and reported this to the men of Jabesh, they were elated. They said to the Ammonites,
"Tomorrow we will surrender to you, and you can do to us whatever you like."
The next day, Saul separated his men into 3 divisions. During the last watch of the night, they broke into the camp of the Ammonites and slaughtered them until the heat of the day. Those who survived were scattered, so that no 2 of them were left together. The people then said to Samuel,
"Who was it that asked, 'Shall Saul reign over us? Turn these men over to us so that we may put them to death.'"
But Saul said,
"No one will be put to death today, for this day the Lord has rescued Israel."
Then Samuel said to the people,
"Come, Let us go to Gilgal and there renew the kingship."
So all the people went to Gilgal and made Saul king in the presence of the Lord. There they sacrificed fellowship offerings before the Lord, and Saul and all the Israelites held a great celebration.